Now we'll explore using LED lighting for indoor backgrounds. The background was dark and needed light. I decided the easiest way to do that was to turn on a room lamp behind her. We know that most room lights are warm compared to the outside light, but look at the color of the pillows she's lying on. They too are warm, so it matches. So adding warm light to something that's already that color doesn't warm it up much, it just lightens it. This image is fine as is, but I wondered what a touch of a background light would do. I like it. And this is what I had to do to get it. First, I aimed the spotlight at the back of the couch, but the dark fabric just ate up that light. So I draped a white blanket over the couch to be a more efficient reflector. Starting with this girl sitting on a couch near a window, there was plenty of light on her, but not nearly as much on the background. So I placed a table lamp behind her, and that added some nice light to the leather couch. This shows how I added the table lamp. The color from a typical lamp bulb is warm, but that's usually not a big problem. I instructed this girl to sit on the back of the chair, very near the wall. But then, just as I was about to take the picture, I noticed that there wasn't enough separation between the black dress by her stomach and the wall behind her. We needed to light the background to separate her from it. I took the lampshade off of a table lamp and then placed that lamp behind her. In case I need to reduce the brightness of the light, I carry a variable controller too. Sometimes this little guy comes in handy. If you don't want to light a fire in a fireplace, you can just place a light bulb in it. This will be an example of that technique. She's being lit by my small softbox. And a warm, soft white light bulb in the fireplace provides a simulation of a fire. This is the overall view, showing the light placements. But I also wanted to show how dark it was in her room. That becomes a factor that I'll discuss. This first image was done with the LED main light at full power. At that strength, the ambient light on her is pretty much non-existent, so the lighting contrast is really high. We want to set that main light just a little above the ambient light, so we have a low main to fill light ratio. Since it was dark in the room, we need to dial that light way down. So I did that here. Much lower contrast on her face. But now the fireplace light is too bright. And that's where the dimmer comes in. I used the lamp socket dimmer to lower that fireplace light. You can use any kind of a dimmer, I just happen to use this lamp socket style. Of course, for the final touch, I eliminated the power cord in Photoshop. I bring a light dimmer along for those times when I need to darken a plug-in lamp. Here I was using an LED light at its brightest output, but it wasn't strong enough to allow me to get a better exposure of that colored lamp. So I used the dimmer to turn the light way down. With light you can see, you can aim it for just the effect that you want. In this case, I aimed the light mostly behind her because I wanted the separation of her shadow side to the cave wall. This is a technique often used in the studio with plain gray backgrounds and models. But we portrait photographers will usually want an even spread on both sides of the subject. These kinds of little LED panels have a pretty broad light spread, so sometimes it's good to have a device that has a wide spread with a gentle fall off. There's not much wrong with the lighting on this, but I like to light up dark areas to render some detail. The room behind her is dark, and I'd like a little separation behind her. With LED lighting, we can see right away that it's overlit. So on the next image, I dialed both down. I used that LED panel behind her. If I had used a light that had a more focused beam, the background would have had too sharp of a fall off. This is the overall view of the next series. In particular, I want to show the benefit of a small background light. Beginning with an existing light image, we can see that she needs to be lit better. There's not enough light on her face, and what is there is off color due to the color of her home's interior. Adding a low, strong light to her face took care of the bad existing light. But adding that amount of light caused the background to be exposed much darker. Let's go about fixing that. I placed an LED light panel behind her and to our right to add light to her hair and the couch. And finally, I wanted to light up that area behind her head. I used my small 144 LED light panel for that. It's easy to put that thing in small spaces. This helps to separate her dark hair from the dark background. The problem I had with this image was that the video game was on, but the screen wasn't bright enough to look that way. So I needed to make it look like the video screen was on. But a little setup information first. I decided to use the room light as the accent light on his hair. But the room light is warm, so I gelled the LED light yellow to match the room light color. With that gel in place, I put a small LED on the video screen and faced it toward the black far side wall of the video machine, and another LED on the opposite side of the game facing the room wall. The color of the light striking the black video game wall is neutral gray when the image is balanced for a 5800 degree color temperature. But when we readjust for the warm gel on the main light, those formerly gray tones become a cooler blue. That's the reason I had him wear a predominantly blue shirt, so his shirt would coordinate with the gelled glows that I introduced. I think that was a good lesson in thinking through challenges and devising the best answer. The final photograph isn't all that impactful or important, but it shows how even a small photograph deserves doing well. We have so many options. I try to use the type of lighting that'll work best for the situation, but there is a lot of overlap. Basically, though, I use LED lighting in low lighting situations. So indoors, it's a natural choice. It allows you to see exactly where and how much light to use.